In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of Holy Spirit, one God. Amen. Chosen one. July 29, 30, 31 will be like a movie. Please listen. July 29, 30, and 31 will not be like any ordinary stretch of days. These are not just numbers on a calendar. They are divine coordinates. Something cinematic is unfolding. Something so grand, so orchestrated by heaven, that if you're not spiritually alert, you might miss it. You felt it brewing in the background, haven't you? You've sensed that something was aligning, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it. That's because this isn't something small or familiar. This is a divine sequence, a 3-day epic written by the hand of God Himself. In these 3 days, heaven will whisper, then shout, and finally roar. Each moment will feel scripted. It will be as if your life steps onto the stage of a divine film, where nothing is accidental and every frame carries weight. Watch this video until the very end and write your warmest wishes in the comments, and write 99 as a sign of alignment with the universe's script. Let the ripple of your intentions energize the next chapter of your reality. Don't let this chapter pass without claiming your space in it now. Chosen one, like this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. The days, July 29, 30, and 31 are a supernatural build-up. It's not just one moment. It's a crescendo. A climax is forming over your life. You may have walked in shadows. You may have felt forgotten. But this divine movie is about the underdog, the overlooked, the misread character who suddenly becomes the main event. You were hidden for a reason. You were developed in silence. The scenes of your struggle were not wasted footage. They were essential character development. But now heaven has scheduled a reveal. And the days of July 29th through July 31st are the reel where your highlight scene rolls. These aren't random dates. These are sacred appointments. Imagine that heaven has issued golden tickets for a premiere showing. Only those with vision will be able to see the plot twist. The world may look the same on the surface, but for those with eyes to see, time will feel different. The veil will lift. Conversations will feel scripted. Opportunities will appear suddenly, as if choreographed. People will show up right on cue, and you'll feel like you've stepped into a divinely authored reality, and you won't be wrong. You were always meant for the spotlight, but not until it aligned with heaven's camera angle. July 29th will be the introduction, the day of setup. The tension will rise, the environment will shift, and you'll feel an unmistakable stirring. Something in your spirit will tell you that you're not in the ordinary anymore. You may find yourself having deja vu moments, or hearing phrases that seem too perfect to be coincidence. That's the script beginning to unfold. You're entering the opening credits of your breakthrough. July 30th will be the transition, the middle of the movie, the rising action. This is when things will escalate. You might get news that stuns you. You might receive a message that flips your emotional state. Divine connections, divine interruptions, and divine acceleration will all arrive at once. Things you've waited years for may come into view in a matter of moments. You look around and realize that this is not fiction. This is your fulfillment unfolding. Then, chosen one, comes July 31st, the day the story peaks, the day the climax hits, the scene you didn't see coming but God always planned. This is when the impossible becomes visible. This is when the villain is exposed. This is when the lead character, you, is honored publicly. All the tension, all the delay, all the shadow seasons will make sense, because this will be the moment the light hit your name. July 31st is not just a day. It's the release of what has been spiritually edited behind the scenes. Some of you have been living a life that felt like deleted scenes. Every time you thought something was about to happen, the moment was cut short. Every chapter felt unfinished. But that's because the best scenes were being reserved for now. God never forgot about your role. He just saved your breakthrough for the part of the film when it would shock the audience. And believe me, people are about to be stunned. You're not just walking into favor, you're walking into prophecy fulfilled in real time. What does it look like when the universe chooses to spotlight a soul? What does it feel like when heaven's script lands perfectly on earth's timeline? Chosen one, you are about to find out. For many, July 29th to 31 will just be another 3 days. But for you, these are the days when heaven presses play on your next season. These are the days when your prayers collide with purpose. These are the days when your name is called into a scene you didn't even audition for, but were born to play. You've been through plot twists that would have broken most people. You've walked through fires that scorched others but refined you. That was your rehearsal. That was your training montage. Now comes the display. You're not waiting for the story to begin. It's already begun. These 3 days are simply the cinematic reveal, the surprise scene that explains it all. And guess what? You don't need to act. You just need to show up and let the light catch what God already placed within you. You've been questioning if the suffering had meaning, if the silence had purpose, if the isolation had value. The answer is yes. Every single part of your script was intentional. Nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the doubts, not even the doors that slammed shut. Because those scenes taught you something essential. They gave you the depth, the strength, the emotional honesty that no actor could fake. You lived the part. And now you'll walk into the reward. So what should you do during these days? Stay present, stay prayerful, stay sensitive. Don't rush it. Don't try to predict it. Just lean in. Observe the symbolism. Listen to the background music of your life. It may shift. Watch who enters and exits your life in this sequence. They are not extras. They are either assigned characters or distractions trying to rewrite the narrative. Be discerning and do not doubt yourself in these 3 days. The enemy will try to make you second guess the divine clues. But you are not making this up. You are not being dramatic. This truly is the turning point in your story. You didn't come this far to be written off. You came this far because the scene is about to shift. And your name, it's already on the call sheet. Heaven has cast you. And the next 3 days are your premiere. Something supernatural is shifting in your atmosphere, and you can already feel it, can't you? Not everything around you can explain what's brewing within you. Your mind can't calculate it. Your calendar didn't expect it. But your spirit is stirred like never before. That's not anxiety, it's anticipation. That's not fear, it's divine foreshadowing. You are walking through the doorway of a storyline so rare that even the enemy didn't see this chapter coming. Let me tell you this with clarity and courage. The timeline between July 29th and 31st has been divinely written for years. You didn't just stumble into this moment. It was marked. Your name was scheduled to collide with it. The scenery around you is about to shift. The main character, you, is about to step into an environment designed to reflect the royalty and favor hidden in your soul. All along, your pain had a purpose, your patience had a reward, and your waiting has reached its expiration date. You will notice, chosen one, that certain people who previously overlooked you will suddenly become hyper-aware of your presence. Don't be alarmed. This is part of the divine film being projected. Their eyes are being opened not by you but by the director himself, God. When it's your scene, no one can skip it. The camera of destiny is focused on your frame now. There will be no edits, no takebacks, no cuts. You're ready. You've been through the long rehearsal called life. Now the real scene begins. As this film of your life unfolds between July 29 and 31st, the settings around you may look familiar. But pay attention to what begins to feel cinematic. The sky, the lights, the conversations, the timing of phone calls, messages, offers, even spiritual nudges. Everything will seem so perfectly placed. It'll feel unreal. That's the mark of divine production. Heaven is orchestrating a scene-by-scene revelation of your elevation. One of the greatest shifts happening during this divine sequence is internal. You are being upgraded emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. You won't even think like the old version of you by July 31st. This is not just external manifestation, it's inner transformation. You are being released from habits that haunted you, thoughts that sabotage you, and fears that delayed you. The script of limitation is being shredded. In its place, a new page is being handed to you. And the headline reads, "Now playing the rise of the chosen one." There's a reason your life felt paused before this. Not because you were forgotten, but because the storyline needed to build tension before the breakthrough. Every great film has a moment where the hero questions everything, where it seems like all hope is lost, where darkness dominates the screen. That was your scene, chosen one. But now comes the twist. The light returns, the momentum builds, the music swells, and the final act begins. Expect divine reversal in these 3 days. Expect unexpected applause from people who once doubted you. Expect a message that roots your whole plan. Expect a closed door to kick open like it was waiting for this exact timing. Expect someone to mention something to you on July 30th that changes the entire direction of your next 6 months. Expect confirmations. Expect clarity. Expect acceleration. And above all, don't expect this to be quiet. July 29, 30 and 31 are going to be loud in the spirit. You may feel more tired because of the spiritual downloads. You may be more emotionally sensitive because your soul knows it's time. That's okay, let it flow. Let the emotions rise and be released. You're shedding the old character, the survival version of you. The chosen version is stepping forward, crowned by process and marked by grace. Let's talk about the people around you during this 3-day sequence. Some are extras, they're just background noise. Some are recurring characters, they've walked with you faithfully. And a few are divine introductions. They're coming in now because they play a key role in your next chapter. Don't confuse the categories. Don't promote background noise to lead roles, and don't overlook the new ones just because they appear late in the movie. God saves key players for the plot twist. You will be tempted during these days to overanalyze, to question if this is real, but let me say it clearly. Yes, it's real. Yes, it's your time. No, you're not imagining the shift. The air feels different because the divine breath is moving. The moments feel charged because they're laced with supernatural fire. Your ordinary schedule is being invaded by extraordinary timing. Welcome it, flow with it. Don't resist it. These days will also reveal a truth you've forgotten. You were never average. You were just planted, not buried, hidden, not rejected, delayed, not denied. All along, the silence you felt wasn't abandonment. It was set up. Heaven muted the noise around you so you could hear the line being cued. It's your time. And now it is. July 29th will give you signs. July 30th will give you proof. July 31 will give you fruit. That is the pattern of divine storytelling. God always begins with signs, things that hint but don't confirm. Then he moves into proof, events that shake your doubt to the core. Then finally comes fruit, evidence so bold, so undeniable that even your enemies must admit something holy happened. You don't need to chase this, just stay ready. You don't need to beg for it, just stay positioned. Heaven is not offering this to the loudest voice, but to the most prepared heart. And you, chosen one, have been prepared in the fire, shaped in isolation, refined in silence. The screen is ready, the music is playing, the cast is assembled, the audience is watching, and now the light fades in. The camera pans toward you, and the next scene belongs to you. There comes a moment in every powerful movie when the main character finally realizes they were never just reacting to life. They were the center of something bigger all along. This is that moment for you, chosen one. The days of July 29th, 30 and 31 aren't just divinely aligned. They are layered with prophetic design. Every word, every silence, every interruption, every breakthrough in these days has been pre-written for your awakening. You see, this isn't just about breakthrough, it's about revelation. The world is not only about to see what you carry, but who you've always been beneath the layers. You didn't need to perform for this moment. You didn't need to convince anyone, because in every great movie, the audience comes to love the hero, not because of perfection, but because of perseverance. You've made it through betrayals that would have broken others. You've endured silence that could have made you give up, but you didn't. And now that divine endurance is about to be rewarded before the eyes of all who once counted you out. On July 29th, the divine camera began to pan in. On July 30th, it zoomed tighter. But on July 31st, the spotlight turns on. Not a subtle glow, a blinding blaze of glory that centers on you. And here's what makes this so supernatural. This spotlight isn't just so others can see you. It's so that you can see yourself. You've only known parts of your greatness. You've only seen glimpses of your strength. But what's coming in this final act of the 3-day sequence is full exposure of the truth. You are not small, you are not average, you are not behind. You are divine royalty who's been walking around with a humble posture because God was preparing you for this sudden reveal. And now, as the final day rises, you will step into conversations you didn't initiate. Doors will open without you knocking. Platforms will call your name without you begging. This is not manipulation, it is manifestation. The things that once looked too big for you will now fit you like a tailored garment. The weight of responsibility will no longer feel like pressure, it will feel like honor. That's how you'll know it's time. Now pay attention to this next truth. Chosen one, July 31st will expose what has been working in the background of your life for years. Silent approvals, unspoken favor, unseen protection, all of it will now take form. The hidden forces that have been supporting you in the dark will suddenly become visible in the light. People will say it's a miracle, but you'll know it was the divine storyline finally reaching the public scene. And yet not everything revealed will be comfortable. Some scenes will shock you. Why? Because God is not just promoting you, He's also correcting the narrative. Anyone who twisted your story, anyone who added false subtitles to your truth, anyone who tried to edit your identity, they will be corrected publicly by heaven's own script. This is a season of truth. A time when the chosen are no longer quiet characters in the background, but bold centerpieces of a divinely authored masterpiece. There's also something mysterious happening in these 3 days. Time is bending for you. What you thought would take years is being expedited. The script is being fast-tracked. You're no longer in the prelude. You're in the plot twist. You're in the divine rush where heaven squeezes what should have taken 36 months into 72 hours. It's acceleration without exhaustion. Promotion without explanation. It's the kind of moment that makes people say, wait, how did that happen so fast? You're not lucky. You're aligned. And you'll know it's God when it feels like everything is syncing too perfectly to be logical. You'll enter rooms where your name is already known. You'll receive favor in places where you've never set foot. The rules will bend in your favor, not because you demanded it, but because heaven has declared. Scene change. Insert chosen one here. And let's speak to your past for a moment. Everything that ever embarrassed you, every failure, every time you were mocked, discredited, or cast aside, watch how heaven spins it into gold during these final days. Watch how the very things that wounded you become the very things people admire you for. That is what July 31st will do. It won't just give you favor. It will redeem every scar. It will justify every silent tear. It will validate every strange season when nothing made sense. By the end of this 3-day divine sequence, you will not recognize your own reflection. You will speak with more authority. You will walk with more certainty. You will no longer be apologetic about your presence. Why? Because you've finally seen the full script and you realize you were always the main character. You were never a mistake. You were never too late. You were just waiting for your scene to be called. This is also the time when prophetic dreams will be fulfilled in waking life. Something you saw years ago, perhaps even as a child, will suddenly play out before your eyes. You'll say to yourself, I've seen this before. Yes, you have. That was the trailer. This is the full release. You didn't dream it because it was fantasy. You dreamed it because God was showing you your spiritual storyboard. And now it's playing out live. Chosen one, take a breath. These are the kinds of days that rewrite family history. These are the kind of scenes that alter bloodlines. You are not just stepping into favor. You are stepping into generational legacy. What you do with these 3 days will ripple into decades. That's why heaven made it feel so dramatic. That's why your soul feels so awake. It's not stress. It's sacred pressure. It's the weight of destiny knocking. And this time, you're not afraid to open the door. Don't explain yourself during this season. Let the results speak. Don't try to defend your role. Let the light prove your position. God is showing off through you now. He's saying, look what I can do with the one they overlooked. Look how I crowned the ones who never stopped believing, even when no one clapped. This moment is rare. This timing is holy. You are in the middle of a divine premiere, and you were never meant to just be in the audience. You are the star of this scene. The credits haven't rolled yet, but the world is finally watching. By now, you felt it deep in your soul. Something has been activated in the spirit realm. This isn't emotional hype. This isn't wishful thinking. This is divine orchestration. It's been happening quietly, invisibly, steadily. And now, as you move into the final leg of this holy sequence, the invisible becomes undeniable. July 29, 30, and 31 were never ordinary. They are a bridge between your silent obedience and your loud reward. If life has felt surreal lately, chosen one, that's not an accident. You are experiencing spiritual overlap, a moment when the supernatural and the natural timelines blur together. Heaven is speaking in symbols. Divine deja vu surrounds you. Numbers are repeating. Messages arrive just in time. Conversations take a prophetic tone. The whole atmosphere has shifted. You've been living one way for years, but now reality bends because your divine appointment has entered the room. The sacred scene is finally here. There is a movie being projected through your life that no one expected to be this powerful. People thought your story was slow. They thought the script was ordinary, but they didn't read the footnotes. They didn't see what God was scripting behind the scenes. Every chapter was threaded with meaning. Every delay was packed with purpose. And now everything is moving fast, not because you rushed, but because God has declared it's time. Let's talk about why the days July 29th to 31 are so potent. Because they're not just about opportunity, they're about exposure. Exposure of hidden help, exposure of false support, exposure of true identity. The veil is being lifted. The masks are being removed. People will reveal their roles in your life, not because they choose to, but because the divine screenplay demands it. In the next scene, no counterfeits can be allowed. Only those assigned by heaven will walk with you through the next plot. That's why you've been feeling emotional. That's why you've been fluctuating between excitement and silence, because your inner self knows what's happening. You are being written into your destiny's climax, the scene that explains it all, the sequence where the hero becomes visible, not loud, not prideful, just finally seen for what they've carried all along. And here's the miraculous part. While you've been thinking the world forgot you, heaven has been setting the stage. There's a prophetic spotlight reserved just for your name. And when the moment strikes, it won't be because of a connection, a hustle, or a favor. It will be divine timing in full action. What is coming in these final hours of July is not man-made. It cannot be faked, forged, or fabricated. It will be unmistakably holy. You'll find yourself in situations where the words you speak carry unusual weight. A conversation that starts casual will suddenly shift into confirmation. Someone who's never respected your voice will suddenly be convicted by it. Why? Because God is using you as a mouthpiece. Now you're not just in the movie. You're also speaking the lines of heaven's message. Your words are becoming sharp, powerful, timely. They carry the authority of someone who has passed through the fire and emerged gold and chosen one. Don't be surprised when the energy around you starts to repel the wrong people. Not everyone can stay in the theater when the real scene begins. Some will feel discomfort, some will distance themselves, some will leave without closure. Let them. They were not written into the final chapter. Their absence is not a punishment, it's preparation. The crowd around you is being adjusted so the right audience can witness your unfolding. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120.00. I pay men to get blessing 100 million. Now let's take a deeper dive into the emotional transformation you're walking through. You've battled unworthiness like it was your shadow. You've walked through seasons where self-doubt echoed louder than your own dream. But these final 3 days are an emotional deliverance. You're stepping out of self-rejection and into self-recognition. This is not ego, it's enlightenment. You're not becoming someone new. You're finally seeing the version of yourself that heaven always saw. You will feel more bold, more clear, more sure. Even if you can't explain why, your spirit will rise with confidence. This is the supernatural confidence of divine alignment. What happens when your footsteps are guided and your presence is confirmed by miracles? You will no longer have to shrink to fit into places that were never meant to hold you. You will no longer explain your worth. You will simply walk in it. By July 31st, your energy will be so elevated that it becomes magnetic. You will draw divine appointments, prophetic encounters, financial favor, and life-altering decisions just by being in alignment. You won't even need to overthink. What is yours will walk toward you. It won't recognize resistance. It won't require chasing. It will recognize your anointing like a scene recognizes its lead actor. And do not forget this. The story of your life is about to make sense to those who once questioned your silence. The people who thought you were strange, distant, or overly spiritual. They will begin to see that everything you carried in secret was sacred. You were not isolating, you were incubating. You were not avoiding, you were aligning. You were not wasting, you were waiting. And now that your scene has arrived, even your enemies will have to watch. Let's also talk about provision. July 31st will bring divine surprises in the form of unexpected deposits, delayed funds released, old debts repaid, or opportunities that translate directly into wealth. This is not prosperity based on greed. It's a wealth that matches your new role. You cannot step into a lead role with empty hands. God is funding your assignment now. Supernatural resources are being aligned with your name, not because you begged, but because you're ready. This financial shift will feel sudden, but it's not random. It's tied to your obedience. It's attached to your role. It's bundled into the next scene because what's coming requires resourcing. The crime because the conversation requires resourcing. What's coming requires resourcing, and heaven does not cast someone without equipping them. Get ready for strange money, for unusual generosity, for surprises in your bank, for offers that come with no strings but divine purpose. Your provision is attached to your position. Finally, understand this. These 3 days are not a random chapter. They are the point of convergence. The moment in every great movie where every prior scene was leading. You didn't survive hell just to keep walking in circles. You made it to this scene because the story is ready to shift, and God chose you to carry the transition. You are the symbol. You are the sign. You are the star of this sacred turning point. So take a deep breath. Your light is not just shining, it's guiding. Your presence is not just powerful, it's prophetic. Your story is not just beautiful, it's breakthrough. And the screen is rolling, the curtain is still rising, chosen one. And as it rises, something unexplainable is descending from heaven. A divine conclusion that rewrites not only your present, but echoes across the past and into the future. July 29, 30 and 31 were not just about breakthrough moments. They were carefully chosen points in time designed to fulfill prophetic promises written into the very DNA of your soul. And now that you've stepped this far in, you cannot go back to normal. Because what's coming after this point is legacy. What's unfolding now is bigger than a blessing. It is history being healed, rewritten and redeemed through your life. Let's take a step deeper into what July 31 represents. Divine reversal. It is the day the script flips. The day what was last becomes first. The day the invisible becomes undeniable. The day the rejected becomes recognized. Everything that was stolen from you, peace, years, finances, joy, honor, is being returned with interest. But it's not coming back in the form you lost it. No, heaven upgrades what hell tried to destroy. You lost things in the fire, but what's coming now has been refined in glory. This is where divine vindication begins. Not revenge, not ego, but proof. God is proving through your life that He never forgets His own. Your tears were recorded, your disappointments were filed under reversal pending. And now the divine delivery arrives. What once embarrassed you will empower you. What once left you speechless will now release praise from your lips. This is not just a restoration, it's a revelation. The world will see what God always knew about you, that you were chosen all along. And now, chosen one, let's talk about legacy. Because you're not just living for you. These 3 days aren't just about a financial transfer or emotional healing. They're about planting a seed that will grow for generations. Heaven is using you as the starting point of a new timeline in your bloodline. What broke others in your family will end with you. What was passed down as pain is now rooted into promise. What was normalized as dysfunction is now being rewritten as destiny. You are not continuing the story. You are becoming the plot twist that changes everything. You may have thought this movie was only about your rise, but now God is revealing the next layer. Your life is becoming a path for others to follow. Your children will inherit clarity because you walk through confusion. Your future family will walk in wholeness because you survived the wilderness. What was unfair for you will become favor for those who come after you. That is the weight of legacy. And you're now strong enough to carry it. The final hours of this 3-day sequence carry an energy so intense, so holy, that you might feel like everything is speeding up, and it is. Time itself is honoring your obedience. The script is moving faster. The results are happening quicker. The signs are becoming more obvious. The world has to catch up now, because heaven is fast forwarding your destiny. You don't have to hustle into it. You just have to remain surrendered to it. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $120, 0 cents. I pay men to get blessing 100 million.
And I